everybody, it's Shashina Gonzalez here, and I am back here to share everything that I just shared in English now for all of my monolingual friends. I had a couple people jump on Instagram like, I need a translation. Here's your translation. I always come back and repeat it all in English. So, as usual, Shashina Gonzalez here with Vida Activa, your favorite holistic wellness coach. And as you hop on here, make sure you give me a wave, a hi, a hello. Let me know what city and state you are hailing from. And if you're watching it later, no matter what venue, if that is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, then you can do #replay. And so today I'm talking about a topic that is in general, but I'm going to talk about how I'm applying it in my life. And so, well, my guy friends, I apologize because I'm talking about female issues today. But we're talking about how you can advocate for your own health. And this is one of the main things that I do in my holistic wellness coaching. Whether you have any certifications or anything, one of the most important things is to always incorporate holistic practices and make sure that you're advocating for your own health. So a lot of people had noticed that I was at the doctor. I had a doctor's appointment on Friday, and they're like, oh, I hope you're okay. And I am. I'm actually doing more or less overall pretty great. And what I'm doing is, earlier in the week I had posted a graphic, or I think it might have been exactly a week ago, that said when you learn to listen to your body when it whispers, you won't have to listen to it when it screams. So I'm trying to take care of an issue where my body, because of all the things that I do right now, it's only whispering to me. But I had this issue before, and before it was screaming at me. And so I'm taking care of it before it gets to that point. So if you guys have heard my story and you know what motivated me to be a holistic wellness coach, you'll know that from 2012 to 2014, I had extreme hormone issues, and they just got worse and worse. And so at that point in time, I had doctors telling me, oh, you're fine. It's not a big deal. It happens to a lot of people. And you can just deal with it. It'll go away probably when you hit menopause. Your body's compensating. You know, your iron levels are good when it first started happening. And so I listened to what the doctor said, and I didn't listen to my body, and I didn't get second opinions, and it got worse and worse. Eventually, I found out that I had a fibroid, and I had gotten to the point where I was bleeding 25 days out of the month, usually. So I was just basically on my period all the time. If a month has 30 days, then I might have gotten a break here and there. And so now I actually had started in January to get a couple heavy days in my time of the month. And it wasn't really that big of a deal, but it was definitely not normal for what I had been experiencing since I had my surgery in 2015 up until 2020. So I mentioned it to my primary care physician, who I love deeply, and who she is always talking about diet, and she's very open and things of that nature. But she did act like it wasn't a big deal. She's like, okay, well, if it gets worse, we'll look into it. I didn't accept that answer this time. So I went and I made an appointment with a functional doctor to see what can I do about my eating habits, and maybe she can look at my numbers differently and see if there's something else that I should do. So I went to that functional doctor in March, and she looked at all of my levels, and all of them were within range, but there were some things that didn't make sense for how I am. My size, like even some things outside, like my A1C levels had been rising, and there was no real explanation for it. And so, and she's like, and you're obviously estrogen dominant. So she ordered some additional tests in order to look at my pathways so that we could get to the root cause of what's wrong, rather than just getting a medication and covering it up. Now, we then went into this situation, and I got some of the tests that I needed, including an ultrasound, to find out that I do have fibroids again. But at this point in time, all that I have are 2 heavy period days. I don't have, and it seems like that the period has shortened a little bit, but it's still within normal range. And so I wanted to take care of this before I start getting pain, before I started getting even additional excessive bleeding, before I start getting extreme mood issues. So again, I made a decision to continue to get different opinions and to listen to my body when it's whispering instead of waiting until it's screaming. So how can you advocate for yourself? So as usual, I looked up an article that would give us some information on this. And again, I'm specifically talking about my situation, so this article is talking about women's situations. But the things that we're going to talk about are going to apply anytime that you have something going on. So it starts by saying we all know it's important to see a healthcare provider for regular checkups or if something seems out of the ordinary. Still, many people believe the birth control side effects are just something you have to live with. And common conditions like PCOS, fibroids, or endometriosis are often diagnosed very late, if at all. And so this was the case for me last time, 2012 through 2014, because people kept telling me that just happens. But this time I was like, no, I want to know what's going on. I'm getting it diagnosed earlier, which is so good. So many people face barriers in getting treatment they need. People have reported feeling discriminated against in healthcare settings for a multitude of reasons, such as race, ethnicity, gender, age, income, insurance status, language, accent, weight, or health or disability status. So sometimes people need to work extra hard to have our concerns taken seriously. So what are we going to do? Again, this is for any condition that you may have. Before your appointment, find the right doctor. So for me, my primary care physician was like, this isn't that big of a deal. So I was like, okay, then I'm going to go to a functional doctor. And because I'm a holistic wellness coach, I want all of the options possible, and I want to know what the root cause is, and I want to make sure that we're treating the root cause. So I'm going to a functional medical doctor so that I can get that. And then seeing the specialist that I need to, because she recommended that I go to the gynecologist. So get prepared. Make a list of issues you want to cover at the appointment and questions you'd like answered, including the main reason for your visit. If you're seeing a doctor about a specific complaint, note when it started, what you've already tried, what makes it better or worse, and any associated symptoms that you've been experiencing. Make sure you bring recent test results and any medications with you as well. If you feel like you can't advocate for yourself, make sure you ask someone to come with you. When you get at the appointment, you want to get there early. Make sure you're 15 minutes early so you can fill out all the paperwork. If you get there late, they may not have enough time for you. Be assertive. So clearly articulate your goals for the visit. Give the doctor the facts about your symptoms and try to get some answers. Avoid downplaying the severity of your symptoms, and be sure to tell your healthcare provider how they're affecting your life. Refer to a list of issues that you have prepared. Talk about the most important thing first to be sure you have time for it. Bear in mind that if you have multiple concerns to address, it may take more than one visit to get answered. If your symptoms include irregular cycles, heavy periods, or other menstruation-related issues, your healthcare provider might encourage you to take hormonal birth control, which, when I went to the gynecologist, she's like, knowing that you're a holistic wellness coach, I know that you're not going to be interested in that. And she's 100% right. I know that you can get to the root cause, and I know that there's natural remedies that you can do so that you don't have to have all these additional side effects. So you have to know exactly what you want. And because birth control can be a great help, and it can also mask symptoms and prevent or delay diagnosis of an underlying condition. So we want to get to the root cause. Ask questions. Ask your healthcare provider questions, especially when you don't understand something they've said or done. If you have any idea about what is going on with your health or what is triggering your symptoms, let your healthcare provider know and ask them what they think. If your doctor gives a diagnosis, ask them, is there any chance it could be something else? This question can help remind your doctor to consider alternate diagnosis. If you're prescribed a new medication, ask about any expected side effects. Find out when you should contact your doctor if you experience side effects. And then listen to yourself. If in doubt, trust yourself. Remember, it's your body. So again, that is what I did. My primary care physician said, it's not a big deal. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to a functional doctor and I'm going to have somebody else look at this because it is a big deal for me. And I actually waited like 3 months to go back and do all the things because I was stuck at home and I didn't have, like a reason. It's like, okay, well, if I have 2 heavy days and I'm bleeding through stuff, I can just go to the bathroom. I'm at home. But then I started traveling, and it did start affecting my life. So even if somebody else thinks it's just an inconvenience to have to go to the bathroom every hour and be tripled up and occasionally bleed through your clothes, I don't care. It's too much for me. And again, I want to listen to my body when it's whispering, when it's minor, instead of waiting until it screams, because I've been through this before, and I waited till it was screaming before, and I waited until I was miserable before, and I'm never doing that again, because I know there's solutions out there and we don't have to do that. So communicate your concerns and wishes, write things down to make sure you have it right. Before you leave, ask for copies of scans and test results, and my hospital does that, so it's really good. Do your own research, but make sure you don't believe everything that's online. So again, at this point in time, what I found out is that I do have fibroids again. And so I went to the gynecologist and telling her, you know, I'm doing all the things with essential oils, I'm doing all the things with herbs, I'm doing, you know, I eat pretty good. She was like, okay, if you only have the heavy bleeding, you don't have any pain, your time of the month sneaks up on you, you don't have any issues going on, you don't need any hormones. And so she did recommend one medication that she thinks is going to reduce that. It's some type of acid, so I'll have to research that and see. And then I'm going back to my functional doctor to make sure everything that my diet is on with my diet the way that it needs to be, and to review the details of the more extensive tests that she did, because that's going to say what's wrong with my pathways and what we can do about it going to my hormones, and again, get to that root cause. And then I actually have an online appointment on Wednesday with another medical doctor that is a specialist in hormones and does herbs and essential oils and all the things. So, and I also consulted my my stepmother, who is going through herb training, and she recommended a homeopathy thing. So we may not even go with the medication if we can get all the stuff that we need naturally, because as a holistic wellness coach, that's what we're always going to do, and that's what I teach you to do with everything, and give you the references so that you do that. But in the meantime, I did want to show you guys what I am using, because again, I have fibroids and I don't have no pain, I don't have no cramps, my time of the month sneaks up on me, I don't have any worries, like I don't have anything that would have indicated that yes, I have fibroids again, because I'm doing so many things and feeding my body the right things to minimize all of that. So now, by just adjusting those things, most likely I will be able to get rid of the one little thing that I'm suffering, which is the heavy bleeding. So I'm using this amazing herbal blend called Fimogen. So it's designed to support the female reproductive system. It helps maintain balance, especially for those that are in menopause. It has things like Damina, wild yam, mora palma, ginseng that is going to give energy, black cohosh, and then it has a few essential oils like fennel, clary sage, and ylang ylang that are also going to support your hormones. And then endogize, which supports your entire endocrine system. This has ashwagandha and DHEA. And then it has some additional essential oils like ginger, myrrh, clary sage. Again, that's going to support my entire endocrine system. So it's woman balancing formula and endocrine support. And then I'm taking cortisol. So this is going to reduce your cortisol levels. And it has progesterone in it, which is one of the precursors for a lot of your hormones. And again, some additional other things. And then I'm also taking Progestins Plus. So the doctor that I'm going to see was one of the formulators of this. Again, an essential oil blend that is super great for hormones and that every woman needs to be taking. The thing is, it's possible that I'm not taking the right dose of this. And by getting all of my levels and consulting an expert, then I'll be able to figure out what actually do I need to take of this, and that will most likely be able to help me to support what I need. But this has things like copaiba, sacred frankincense, cedarwood, bergamot, peppermint, clove, and then it has progesterone from wild yam in it. And then Endoflex. Endoflex is another blend that's going to be super supporting to your entire endocrine system. And this has sesame, sage, geranium, myrtle, matriarchia, and nutmeg in it. And then, knowing that I'm certified in herbs and all the things, I also looked up online and got a bunch of herbs, and I've been making an herbal tea that's supposed to be supporting for my hormones and endocrine system and the things that I'm experiencing. And yes, it is exactly what it looks like. It's a bunch of flowers, it's a bunch of seeds, it's a bunch of tree barks, mostly from China. And it doesn't taste that good necessarily, but I'll put something else in it to make it, you know, for me to deal with the flavor. So I'm taking this tea every day as well. And I believe that's the reason why I'm not experiencing hardly any symptoms whatsoever. Like, in reality, she's like, yeah, if you're good, you're feeling great, you're feeling wonderful. You just need to tackle this one thing. And that's why I'm also confident that I will be able to have it resolved after I have the rest of these appointments. So that is what I want to share with you guys. Again, I appreciate everybody that was looking at, oh, you're at the doctor's, what's wrong? I hope you're all right. Yes, I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. But I have this little slight hormone issue. Hormones on the paper are a little bit out of whack, and the pathways are a little bit out of whack. And I'm consulting all of the experts and all of the doctors that I need to take care of it holistically through my diet, through herbs, through essential oils, through any techniques that I can first. And then making sure that, again, I got all those levels from the experts and from the doctors so I know exactly what to do. And that is actually what I help everyone else do as a holistic wellness coach. Obviously, if you have a super major issue, then you would need to consult an expert, because I'm not a doctor in any way, shape, or form. But what I help you do is learn how to advocate for yourself. So if you have not had a consultation with me as of yet, reach out to me at any time so that you can do that. And as usual, make sure that you are following me and have notifications turned on. Hit the bell if you're on YouTube watching this, or hop on YouTube if you're watching this on another venue, Tashina Gonzalez, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. With that, I thank you guys so much for joining me, and have an amazing day. Bye, guys.